Podcast. I am your host, Dwayne, alongside
Ashante.
And Jaffe Jofer Jefferson the
yeah,
third.
the third. The third. Where you get third from? I ain't getting the third. The first. Maybe a second soon. So let's start the show off with some applause.
Wow.
Now, what you know about that?
Say applause. Let's say a big congratulations out to Mr. Jeffrey Clark.
Me?
Who just got married this past weekend. And I can say it because the video is all over social media. So I can say it now.
Everywhere.
Congratulations.
It is all over social media.
Pictures and videos all over social media. So I can actually say it without his permission because he already put it out there. So I want to say congratulations to Jeffrey and his new bride, Miss Kelly. On their nuptials, beautiful nuptials. Congratulations on your wedding, sir.
Thank you. There you go. Thank you. I'm off the market, ladies. Sorry.
He is gone now, ladies. Yes, ladies, all y'all ladies that were pining, he is now gone. There she is, the blushing bride. There she is. What's going on? I don't know. Play around. You must get your iPhone ready. I'll put you on the spot, girl. I'll bring you into the show right now. Send you the link.
Lord, no, Mr. Clark.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
She would have to pre-know. Don't be trying to throw my girl on blast like that. Hold on now. Hold on, friend.
All right. I'm gonna leave her alone. Right now. Okay, so
the wedding was amazing. We had so much fun over the weekend. Yeah. Thank you for allowing us to share your special day.
That lobster mac and cheese was the bomb, though. I fight my daughter for that. She wouldn't let me have none.
I need to try that. That place is nice,
the calamari was like off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the calamari was off the chain.
Yeah, that place is nice.
I had my lobster fried rice, which was good with the fried lobster in it. That was good. It was spicy too.
Now now, me in the bathroom was friends later on that evening. So I'm not really sure that some of those spices really agree with me. And I was like, well, maybe it was something I ate earlier, but then I had my leftovers the next day in the same situation. I was like, okay.
So y'all check out what's the restaurant name again?
It's called Pork Calvin.
That's what we had this reception at Pork Calvin.
But it was good going down.
Yeah, it was good going down. So it's a nice restaurant downtown Atlanta, Pork Calvin. My first time going there, so I liked it.
And he's in house. He works there. The owner works there. That's the only one. So that's probably why it's so good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, the calamari was definitely banging. I think next time I go though, I'm not gonna order a main dish because the appetizers were like huge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
The appetizers were huge. I was like, I could have just got some calamari and the deviled eggs and been good.
Yeah, the deviled eggs are fried. They deep fried them deviled eggs.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
They weren't.
They were fried.
They weren't deep fried.
Okay, well, they were fried with breading around them. The deviled eggs had breading around them.
Well, let's call and ask.
And they were really good, and they had like this kind of brown. It was kind of acidic, like a drizzle on top of it, and then it had bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they were really, really good. And then the yolk was like. It wasn't like, you know how normally deviled eggs, they have like a mixture of stuff in it? Yeah. It was like the yolk wasn't broken. Even though it was cooked, it wasn't broken. And then all the ingredients were sitting on top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really good.
So yeah, Pork Calvin's another Atlanta eats that's good to try out. So I'd suggest y'all try it out when y'all get a chance, people.
Yeah.
You know, so you're getting well wishes.
One day we're going to have to go through our favorite restaurants because I actually like Pacific Rim too. That was a really good place.
Pacific Rim.
That's where we went for the Phil Potts birthday. Pacific Rim. Downtown. Oh man, where was it off of? It kind of was like a Chinese Thai fusion. Remember, it had all those different types of options. You came late.
Oh, that place.
That's when the manager was yelling at the waitress, and they stopped serving drinks at 10 o'clock or whatever.
That place, yeah.
But the food was so good.
It closed really early.
Yeah.
And I came late as usual.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know the place in that parking lot with the building. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, I got you.
I think
Yeah.
we went
Parking lot with the building is like
Yeah.
that. I'm very vague, but I'm like, I remember
The
now.
we
parking
went
lot
to
with the building.
Because I had to meet y'all there. I had to meet
parking
y'all
lot.
there too.
with the building.
No.
Oh, I dropped you off at the front. No, I dropped you off at the front.
Like,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parking lot with
Gotcha.
the building.
Yeah, Pacific Road. There you go. All right.
Yeah, so
South
we definitely gonna have to talk about some of our favorite spots on one of our episodes.
Mhm, restaurants
Welcome
to try.
to Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta, the restaurant edition.
There you go. So we got some topics to talk about tonight. Let's to Law and
do?
Order. Well, okay, first of all, our topic for tonight is the past.
Okay.
Is the
Live,
past?
Wow.
learn, or move on.
Oh.
The past. So that's one of our topics. So we're going to get into that in a little bit, but let's talk about some of these celebrity topics. So on the screen now, or about to be on the screen now, a gentleman by the name of Robert Kelly has been convicted in Chicago and has additional 20 years added to his sentence. So he's already been convicted of 30 years in New York. I think that's Fed time too.
No, I think so.
And I think-
Racketeering.
No, not racketeering.
Sex trafficking. probably.
Trafficking. I think it was.
Okay.
So he's got 30 years in federal time, and then he got 20 years in Chicago. So basically, he's never going to be because he's right now he's over 50. So by the time he get out of jail, he'll be 102, something like that.
Can he still write music from jail?
Lord have mercy.
Probably. They probably gonna try to write.
Well, he'll
something.
release a jail album like Gucci. Gucci released 6 albums from jail.
Be on the phone singing.
Oh,
Leave me on
I
the
guess so.
He'll be releasing something. So yeah, that he's done.
He'll have his burner phone.
Got a new album for y'all, straight from the kitchen.
But he could still write music and like
Oh, yeah.
then send the music. Well, he can write the lyrics and then send the lyric. Well, he can't write. He never learned how to read, so maybe he could.
He did eventually learn how to read, didn't he?
Maybe,
No,
He never learned how to read.
no.
Maybe his cellmate. He can tell, hey man, write this
Right,
down for me."
he's singing and be like, "Hey, write this down, man."
We're gonna have a new parody talking about I can't even do it because I'm trying to think of something like Dave Chappelle did with him in jail, but ain't nothing I can think of real quick.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be somebody's gonna have a nice skit about it, so it's gonna be.
Well, they might send him like a little recorder, and he'll record his verse and then send it.
Well, nobody's gonna, once he's convicted now, I think they're gonna try to take all his music off streaming service. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I thought they already did.
No,
They took most of it off
No,
streaming
they didn't
service.
take it
They
off.
take it all.
Oh,
But they took
okay.
most streaming services
Man,
have
they
taken
don't
it
need
off.
to take the Aura stuff off. That's all right. I got the hard copies at the house. I got Chocolate Factory, TP2, 12 Play. I got them all.
I think I got some of them saved in my library because
I got all the
I got a
CDs.
hard drive.
I got the physical
The
CDs,
physical
so I ain't
CDs.
worried about it. I can
So,
still rock it in
I
my
got-
car because I still got a CD player.
I got the tape.
The tape.
Wow, how you
Well, how
play
you
it?
gonna
What
play
you
that?
gonna play it on?
I'm kidding.
What you gonna play it
Like,
on?
what you gonna
Nothing.
play it on? So, people, what's going down in Florida? I just want to know what's going on in Florida.
Who
So,
knows?
a story came out. Well, Florida's already messed up.
Yeah.
Already. I'm glad we out of that state. 85-year-old woman was walking her dog
Hmm.
and has recently passed away from alligator attack. So the alligator ate the dog and her.
How big was
Goodness.
that dog?
Look,
It
there
was
he
a
is
little
right there.
dog.
Oh, the dog.
I don't know how big the dog was. That's the alligator.
Probably a
Dog.
little dog. You know, old people only have little dogs. Okay.
Ooh, child.
But that's the alligator. I want to condone. So I'm like,
Child,
Florida's just getting
that's
ridiculous from the books
That's
and the Black History and the governor trying to tax Disney. And I'm like, it's just like Florida. I don't know. They might as well just close Florida off and flush them down the toilet. You know,
And flush them down the toilet.
I'm like, damn, Florida's just, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and you
That's
know,
scary.
like flush down Florida and leave Miami alone. Like leave Dade County alone and get
That's
rid of the
what
rest
I'm
of
saying.
Florida.
So does that include Miami?
So you got to keep Miami and Dade County and get rid of the rest of
Get rid of-
Florida. Because there's too much
Yeah.
going on. You got
Yeah.
too much going on. I'm like,
That's
the governors
scary, man.
hating the governor.
Like,
I'm
he
like,
going to jail.
Yeah, they tied him up like he got him handcuffed like he going to jail.
yeah, they better get rid of that alligator.
Okay, that alligator, he got fresh meat. He gonna be trying to eat somebody else.
That's scary, man. I'm scared of alligators.
Child, I'm scared of anything that's bigger than me.
And
Dogs.
Anything that can eat me.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything that's bigger than me. Like if you can like bull constrictors and dogs that are too big. Like I can't do it because I feel like they're still animals. You know what I'm saying?
Like and no natural instinct.
No matter how tame they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They took the fangs out of the snake. You can hold a snake. They took the fangs out. Right.
No, because they can squeeze you to death.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm not going to let that thing wrap around your neck and all of a sudden it starts squeezing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't have things, even if they bite down on you, I bet you it still hurt.
Yeah, they can constrict your airways.
The boa constrictor. That's why they call them boa constrictors.
That's all
they gonna get
saying. You let the snake bite you. And then you tell me
I actually have been bit by a snake before. I was in college and a friend of mine had a snake. And I've held a snake and carried a snake before. And then one night we was out in the yard and he was like, man, go get the snake for me real quick. I said, cool, I'll go grab him. So I went into I couldn't figure out how to turn the light on in the cage.
This all sounds crazy, right?
I couldn't I couldn't figure out the light on the cage. So my dumb butt
stuck your hand in
Stuck my hand in there. Of course he bit me. And I was like, oh Lord. I was like, this little mother.
Was it a big snake?
Nah, it was a little snake. It was like probably, it probably was about a foot long little snake.
So go get my snake. You go get your own snake. Was that at a crazy roommate? Yeah, that one.
No, it was during the crazy part, but he's when I moved out from him and I was with the cool guy, the two guys that saved my life basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So how's a snake? You have a snake? Lulu said she had a snake before. You want a snake? You want to get a snake pet?
Where you gonna be living?
Oh, you don't want a snake pet? I get a snake. I told Rachel, you want a snake? She's like, yeah.
I heard a story where somebody had a pet. What do you call it?
Alligator.
Boa constrictor or python, well, something, and he got out and went up in the vent and then fell in somebody's bedroom and wrapped him up and killed him.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen those videos on social media where they, I guess they're in India or wherever there's a lot of snakes in. There's people, the family had like 10 snakes living in their ceiling.
Moving immediately.
I was like, what?
Did you know your wife grew up in a house with pythons?
Yeah, she told me. I said, hey,
that's gonna be y'all get some snakes. I can't promise I'm gonna visit you at your house.
Oh, I'm not. Oh,
now I will visit you anywhere else under the sun, just not at your house.
I can't. I won't be able to sleep no night.
You
I got a snake in the house.
Secure the snake properly. Wait a minute, people. Ain't no snake coming in the Clark house.
Hey, I don't know why you telling me. I have.
Ain't no snakes coming in the Clark house, okay?
No snakes going in the other Clark house.
I don't need no type of safety instructions on snakes.
Yeah, I'm
Believe
good.
me.
Trust me.
I'm straight.
I'll take your word for it.
It's over with. Snake City. Maybe a puppy with no snakes.
A what?
A puppy.
Who gonna get a puppy? Where they gonna live?
I'm talking about that Clark house, not our Clark house.
Where they gonna live?
Oh yeah, I like dogs.
Yeah,
Look, where is the puppy gonna live?
I'm talking about that.
No, gonna live at Jefferson's house. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. Some sad news, which we already knew. Probably heard about this, but Quavo of the Migos released a song, and he has finally confirmed in the song that the Migos are officially done.
Oh man.
Him and Offset will never. Hold on.
Yeah, you're right.
Offset. And Offset will never be getting back together, do a song after what happened. So he released a song about the death of Takeoff, and his newest song is like, it's over with me. It's never happening again.
What happened with them? Do you know?
Well, they had a fight. Well, I think the last thing happened was the Grammys.
Well, I remember that one, but before they broke up before that.
Before that, there was just rumors going around, so nobody got a confirmation of what's going on because they, of course, Takeoff and Quavo did an album together.
Yeah,
Offset did his solo, but they all did solo albums.
Yeah,
but it looked like it's just a strange relationship. So who knows what's going on with that? But I hate to see families because it's not just like
they related. Those two,
yeah, they're related. All three of them
related.
Oh no,
I think it's Quavo and Offset are cousins, and then Quavo was Takeoff's uncle. Yeah. So I'm like, so they all like their mothers or fathers, and they're all related. So it's just like, wow,
man.
It's just I hate to see that, groups. You hate to see your groups fall
Yeah.
apart. I actually like for a younger group. I like them. I can go with some Bad and Bougie.
I
good.
don't listen to rap like that, but I listen. I like them.
I listen to them.
Yeah.
So they cool. They cool. So sad to hear that going on, but it's the end of them. So hopefully, eventually they can do some, come back together. But
well,
see.
I mean, they ain't even got to do nothing, but they do need to reconcile.
Yeah, family.
Yeah, we'll get that maybe.
We don't need no more albums. Y'all just need to reconcile.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we might get. Yeah, but it
All
may
right,
take a long
Cardi, it's
time.
on you now.
Yeah,
Bring the family together.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
That's what the
and-
wives do. The wives bring the family back together.
It's on you
They
now,
try their
Cardi.
best to.
I was. You know what? It's funny. I was thinking about something the other day, like as far as like black rap groups and R&B groups, like through the '90s and early 2000s.
Mm.
I can maybe name. I don't know if I can maybe name one or two groups that actually stayed together. It's like all of them broke up to a certain point.
Well, I think a lot of it was that. So labels, when they were putting together like groups and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
if you came and you were a group, and let's say all of y'all could sing,
Yeah,
they're gonna look for the person that has the most unique sounding voice.
yeah,
Even if they're not the best singer, if they have the most unique sounding voice,
mhm.
then they're gonna put them out because they're trying to make them stand out from other singing groups. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so then that person becomes kind of like the star of the show, if you will.
Yeah,
And then the others are like background singers now, even though
For the
they
most
may
part.
be wonderful singers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's I have a difference in opinion. I think it's money. Back then, the money was not the money's not the same like it is now. So back then, the money didn't come around, so that everybody broke up to do a solo album, so they get more money than the group because it was
Well,
separated four ways.
Yes, but and the point I was trying to make was that so that person, that main person that's singing, they're still splitting their money 5 ways.
Mm.
So they're like, oh, well, I'm singing on 10 of the songs. I'm leading the song. I'm leading the group. I'm doing that.
But they still
So
gotta
they got
split
the
it
big
evenly.
head now thinking
Yeah,
that they can do it without the group.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that,
and
I mean,
then
Makes
each
sense.
member puts out a solo album and groups. And then
Yeah.
then they realize, oh, they like us better. Well, we making more money. We were together. Let me get back together.
And then yeah.
unless you a Beyonce.
That is correct.
But yeah, I was really trying to think like all the '90s groups I can think of. Every last one of them broke up, or one person left. Even Boyz II Men.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What?
Jagged Edge still together.
Okay, that's one. That's one that I.
That's the only
That's
one I
one.
can think of.
Jodeci's back together.
Who?
Jodeci's back together.
I mean,
Oh, what?
Are they?
Even with Mr. Dalvin?
Yeah, they doing tours together.
then which guy had a stroke? JoJo had a stroke.
Oh, did it?
Oh.
Yeah, he was on
Wow.
stage. I had him on camera on stage trying to help him walk.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
didn't hear about that. That's
Wow, that's crazy. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of those groups back in the day, because
Mhm.
remember when Destiny's Child was like switching group members and all
Oh
this
my
other kind
God,
of stuff,
like-
because they're like, you guys are trying to make Beyonce the star. She's not the only person that know how to sing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody thought they can make the money. I can make the money. I can make the money.
Yeah.
And
That's the same thing that happened with 112.
yeah,
They put Slim in the front, and he definitely wasn't the best singer.
yeah. Yeah,
He definitely was not the best singer.
yeah.
Because Mike
Mike. Yeah, Mike.
and
is sing-
Q, please.
Yeah.
You
No,
can't
you're
even
right.
compare the singing capabilities.
They just like he's more the baby face guy. Let's put him
Well,
out
he
there.
had the high pitched voice, kind
yeah.
of like a Ralph Tresvant, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
what the greatest group of all time, the rap group Outkast, is like everybody knows they are great together. They've put out
Mhm.
solo projects, but neither one of their solo projects have gone to the heights of them together.
Mhm.
That's why I think they're the greatest group of all time. And Dante will agree they are the greatest group of all time because together they've never reached the heights that they were at together.
Yeah.
Never.
Do they not like each other, or is it just?
No. There's
You
a
think it's
3,000.
just-
The 3,000
Dante
just
said Outkast is still together.
3,000 just doesn't. He doesn't feel. There's too much. There's no love for music right now.
Okay.
There's no talent. People out there not doing it for the talent. They're not talented and not doing it for the music.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that because
Mhm.
it's like, So back in the day, when you turned on the radio from song to song to song, it was all different types of flavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now when you turn on the radio, it sounds like one continuous long song.
The same song.
Like all the singers, they all sound just alike.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially the female singers, they all have like this kind of poppy.
That's
like
so.
They literally all sound the same. All of the writing sounds exactly the same. All of the melodies sound exactly the same, and all the tracks sound exactly the same. Like there is no flavor. It's like copy, paste, repeat. Copy, paste, repeat.
Yeah, I think, and I, even though this is a more socially networked age and you can see stuff, it's like I don't see music videos anymore. Or there's no one place for music. You have to go find each individual artist to see their music video, see who they are, and
that's what we need to do. We need to do like a in the basement, like a big tig in the basement.
Because there's no show where I've seen like, and maybe I'm not looking because I don't watch Revolt TV. I don't even watch Revolt or MTV or BET like that.
They have Vivo where it plays nothing but music videos all the time. But we don't have like a Donnie Simpson video soul,
Big Tigger,
Big Tigger in the
basement, Free and AJ.
Listen, that was come home after school. That was the show right there.
Where they were premiering music videos. Like they don't do that anymore. But I wish they would, because I feel like it would make these artists step up their game. Yeah.
It was just so fun being able to watch the music video on TV.
And like go to see your favorite artist at the record store and like get autographs and like take your pictures. Like I got my whole book that I got all these times that I went to like in stores and like got pictures with my favorite artists and got their signatures. And like I know it means nothing now.
Well, that's the thing. People nowadays, they don't want to just have a picture or get an autograph for artists. They want to go viral with the artist. They want to be famous themselves. So it's not like I be my favorite artist. Hey man, I love your music, appreciate you. Nah, they want to get a picture so they can go viral, put it out there, so they get more likes and more things like that.
Yeah.
So it's no appreciation for the artist. It's more appreciation for themselves and how the artist can help them.
Right, because I'm telling you, like I got a whole book full of pictures of when I met artists like at the record store.
Sam
like
Goodies.
Literally stood in line, like ready to get my signature and my picture with my CD.
Autograph. Was it Sam Goodies? What else?
Sam Goody. It was Camelot music.
Camelot.
Turtles. Turtles, yeah.
Camelot.
Tower music.
Tower music.
Yeah.
There was one more. I'm trying to figure. I can't think of it, but yeah, they were at some music stores.
Yeah.
But that was that. All right, we got a last musical subject, which goes into our topic tonight. So on the screen, you have two artists that are of our time and past our time. We have T.I. and Bootsy.
But wait, who?
T.I. and Bootsy.
Bootsy. He put a T in there.
Media Play,
Bootsy.
Yeah.
Media Play.
So the story is T.I. did an interview on a podcast and talked about how he put a gun. He told the police that the gun was the guy that died in the situation. So he was in a situation and he was going to jail. He was about to go to jail. So he put the gun on the person that died to get himself out of trouble. It was one of his partners, and he said, man, my partner probably would have took the charge because, he's gone and I'm still here, so I put the gun on him.
The gun on him. Oh, wow.
So he told the police it was his gun, not the guy's that died gun instead of his.
Okay.
So
does he get caught up for that? Are they going to come back and charge him?
Statute of limitations probably fell off. Yeah, as long as it wasn't murder.
Child.
Hopefully it wasn't murder. Maybe it was just a legal gun.
I still wouldn't have said nothing.
I
trust our justice system.
It was his cousin. Okay, Dante said it was his cousin he put the gun on. So one of his homeboy was his cousin.
So janky.
So Bootsy,
right?
Double jeopardy, yeah. Double jeopardy. If he's not convicted, if he was convicted of something, it's double jeopardy. But Bootsy came out on social media talk about we not doing no album together. He's a rat. He's snitching to the police. He a snitch. He a rat. We don't do this. But it's his past. So Bootsy is living, it's 20 something years ago or even more.
Yeah.
his dead cousin. Yes, Dante, his dead cousin. So what is going on? The dead cousin is not going to jail. No, his family's not getting hurt. T.I. has a life to live. Why is Boosie tripping about his past? And now he said, oh, we have an album together. We ain't never putting that out. I don't work with snitches. Why couldn't he just call T.I. and say, man, what's really going on? So my question for y'all tonight is, we've done stuff in our past. Have we learned from it? We live our lives. We're alive now. We're here to do this podcast. Have we learned, lived, and moved on from stuff we've done in our past? Because I know I've learned from a lot of things. And I've learned everything I've learned in my past when it comes to relationship or life, money, or situations. I learned from it, and I don't do it again.
Oh, yeah.
But Shantae had a very, very poignant conversation we had at the dinner table about people that don't learn.
Well, I mean, so, you know, I think that people, anybody who goes through a situation, you're going to learn something, you know. Now, whether you decide that you're not going to do it again is different. You know, I feel like people, every situation that you're in is going to change you inherently, right?
Yeah.
Even though you may not want to admit it, right? So if I'm talking junk about a person and they come slap me in my face, no, I'm just saying,
yeah,
I'm going to learn from that. Now, whether I decide to do it again is on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think every single situation that you have is going to change you in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
So, you know, the person that you are is not the person you're going to be because of situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in terms of learning from it and moving on, you might learn from it and say, there's a better way for me to do this and get away with what I was trying to get away with.
Oh, yeah.
That's how criminals get smart, right?
They did it last time. I went to prison for 10 years for it, but I know what I did wrong, so let me do it again, and I can get away with it.
Exactly. So the question is, why don't some people leave things in the past? Like, why don't some people not do the same thing again?
Yeah.
Like, is it because, like, the need for you to feel that whatever you felt that you were doing, is it the need to feel that again? You know what I'm saying? Is it the need for you to the rush? So you're doing it again, even though you know that there could potentially be consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Robin says, I've learned plenty of lessons from my past. I don't regret anything, though, because I feel that I've lessons learned in my life.
That must be on
another page.
Another page.
I put it on the front screen so you should see it.
Robin, I'm gonna need you to come to the Three Clarks podcast page.
Whatever page she's on. She's on the Facebook.
4220.
She's on one of the pages. It doesn't matter.
We can't see your comment, Robin.
So I learned a great lesson in my life when I was young, and I went through a very bad situation in my 20, 21, I think 19, 20, and 21.
He wasn't messing with me back then.
I wasn't.
It was not me, y'all.
It was a girl, and it was a situation, and I learned my lesson, and I got very smart from that situation because I was hanging. I wasn't a hood. I'm not a hood dude, and I always say I'm a suburban kid.
He is,
but I learned from my situations. So I was working at a hood place where people were, and I met a hood girl, and she put me through the paces. Did things to me, did things that I couldn't, I thought she liked me, loved me, or whatever. And I learned my lesson. And I learned a very good lesson. Not to go through that ever again and to question a lot of stuff that people do. And even in my early days, I worked in the music business. I went to a lot of hood clubs, a lot of hood places, and I learned lessons from the people I'm around. So I go places now, I'm not going to get in no shit at all.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in, I go to a restaurant, I know where every exit is. I walk in the front door, I know where every exit is, and how to get to them the fastest, and who to grab first. I know where to hit down. So I've been to these places. I've been in clubs. So nowadays you got the shooters, but I remember the days where, where people would just grab anything and hurt you with. So I'm like, I know certain situations. So I learn from every situation I'm in. I learn from it. and I move on. It's not even, it just day to day. You learn, you drive in a car, you learn the way you go. You learn what you're doing.
Lulu makes a good point, which this is something I've never been able to do, but learn from other people's mistakes.
Mhm.
I never learned from other people's mistakes. I always had to go through it. It's like, it was almost kind of like, oh, that ain't never gonna happen to me. Like that.
You know why it's harder for you? Well, in my experience, it's easier for me because he's older than me. You were the oldest. I learned from his mistakes.
Yes, and that's
you're the oldest. It's harder for you because you don't really. There's nobody that you can really.
And that's the thing is.
So somebody that's just a couple of years older than me, seeing a mistake that they made, versus your mama saying, "Don't do that because of blah blah blah."
Correct. And that's another point I was gonna bring up. I bring up as an older brother, I make terrible mistakes, and I try to teach Jeffrey and tell him about what not to do. Some people listen, some he listened, some he didn't. But you learn from people want to learn. I was upset that I didn't have somebody over me to show me some of the mistakes they made and help me out. So I had to make all the mistakes.
Yeah.
And see, I was okay with making the mistakes. I'm like, listen, there's no holds bar. It was my decision. That's what I decided to do. If this is the bed I made, I got to lay in it. I'm good with it. I always been like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always was like, okay, first of all, like, I feel like that's why I'm a good problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you don't ever go through anything, you don't know how to solve problems.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have a problem, you just stuck. You don't think there's any alternative. You don't think there's nothing else that you can do. Your life is coming to an end. But as a person who'd have made a million mistakes, and I mean a million, I made a million mistakes.
Yeah.
I feel like now that makes me strong, resilient, because I know that anything you go through, there's a way to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now, sometimes it might be fast. Sometimes it might be a slow process, depending on what you did.
So we got a lot of activities in the comments. So I'm gonna go back to Dante was talking about the T.I. situation. I think the problem with the T.I. is the personnel and the platform that he's built for himself as a stand-up guy. Remember, he disassociated himself from an artist on his label for supposedly snitching. Now he appears to be a hypocrite. And I remember that situation because back then with Alpha Mega, I was actually friends with Alpha Mega because with me and him used to talk a lot because I used to work at Magic City parking cars. And he used to come in and hang out. Me and him talked a lot about we didn't talk about that situation because I didn't know about that situation. But we were just cool people. And he was signed to T.I. His girlfriend actually worked at Magic City, so that's why he was in the parking lot just waiting for her to get off work. And it became a situation.
Tiny? Huh? Tiny?
No.
Alpha Mega, the artist.
Oh, okay.
No, me and T.I. went cool.
I'm trying to figure out where he going with the story. He's trying to tell us how he know Alpha Mega.
So it's just the point is like, okay, the person I knew, from talking to him, from knowing from years, wasn't the person that they portrayed him in the media.
Okay. They never are.
And they never are. So that's what my point was going on that situation.
They never are.
But then let's go to the next comment from...
So most repetitive bad behavior stems directly from trauma or neglect or negligent upbringing. That's why child rearing is so important. Oftentimes people who have had rough adult lives had a rough childhood. Now, I do yes and no. Okay, so I made a lot of mistakes and I definitely did not have a bad childhood, for sure. I grew up like the Huxtables, let's be honest. Okay?
100%.
But I made a lot of mistakes, but my mistakes, of course, don't equate to some people's mistakes, where they go into jail and they getting,
pregnant, go to jail, pregnant, with 2 or 5 baby daddies and stuff like that.
Strung out on drugs, living on the street. Like, no, those weren't the kind of mistakes that I made. I made suburbia mistakes. Okay, let's be honest. I messed up my credit, got to clean back up, almost got a car repossessed one time, stuff like that. You make mistakes like that. But, I don't know. I can't compare my mistakes to somebody who had a hard up life.
Yeah, well, when they say trauma, I think of like something
like sexual
Right.
abuse and
Yeah,
things like that. Like
something
I
crazy.
definitely didn't have nothing like that going on.
Yeah,
But like I made plenty of mistakes,
Yeah,
I dated bad guys,
yeah.
I like to hang around the thugs, even though I didn't know the first thing about it. They always trusted me. I used to always be able to hold the bag.
Because and I think of like, that's why I'd be like, it's so important to have the father in the house. Because think about like a young girl growing up without her father. Just imagine the role that she would take as opposed to having the strong father figure in the house, and boys too. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dwayne got lucky. We had our father some of our lives. We didn't completely not have him, but if we didn't have him at all, who knows what kind of guys we would be?
Yeah.
I just
I mean, I agree with that because one thing. So growing up in the type of household that I came from, my parents really shielded us from a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So if somebody was, and this sounds terrible, but if they were in a single family home, my parents kind of like deterred us away from that, that person, like steered us away from that because they didn't really want us to see that.
Yeah, it's just a different.
And it wasn't that we couldn't be friends with them, but we could not go to their houses. They had to come to our house. And they never said that to us. But in looking back,
you see things. You see things and looking back.
That's probably why I never was able to spend the night over there. Like I remember I had a girlfriend and she was growing up in a single home, but it was her dad. Wasn't her mom.
So it was a young female with her dad only. You got you.
Well, he had 2 daughters.
Daughters, okay.
2 daughters, and he was the dad. I never was allowed to spend the night over there. Like I hardly was even able to go over there. But my mom was like, "Oh yeah, she can come over." And like anytime I'd be like, "Oh, well, such and such is having a party," she'd be like, "Oh, well, I mean, what kind of party is it?" And or she can come over afterward. Like she always give me a bunch of alternatives. And as a child, you ain't questioning. You just like, oh, okay, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But mom, and even like girls who had single moms, I wasn't allowed to spend the night over there either. Not thinking to myself, oh, well, maybe they're going to have some kind of dude in the house that, is not the father. Like, it's just so many different things. And like my parents really, really, really did shield us from a lot of that stuff. And I just didn't know until I got way older, actually, till I had Rachel, that it really even made me start questioning some of the choices that they made when we were young, because I felt like I was very naive coming out into the world.
We all were.
So the comments are going up. Dante has a very, he has his opinion of what's going on. And I respect everybody. So I feel different about it, but his is, I can adamantly say sometimes having a father in the house can be actually counterproductive. People who are not ready for responsibility of raising a child should stay on birth control. Nobody's ever ready to have a child. Nobody. No matter if you're 20 years old, you're 40 years old, 30 years old. If you don't have a child and you never had a child, you're never ready to have a child. It just becomes you have to learn on the fly. I had experience with, like I said, the trauma I had with the girl in the end, but I learned stuff quick. And then when it comes to my own child, I picked up on stuff. I'm just somebody who picks up on things quick anyways. Yeah. It's like, I did a podcast. I learned how to pick up stuff. So it's a family. So it's just, I think it's and I'm going to go back to one of his other comments about trauma that comes in many forms. One thing that I know from my past is, and I noticed from remembering, my mother, no matter how bad my father was, she never talked bad about him. Ever, ever. So it's like a lot of people, a lot of young girls nowadays, and you see it, your dad ain't shit. He did this. Fuck him. We don't need him. Independent. And they do it on social media. My baby daddy ain't this. I don't worry about him. But you end up sleeping with him. So it becomes a point. it comes to a point where you get bitter, and then you start talking bad about it on social media. You talk bad about it in front of the kids, and it becomes an issue.
Well, I think that one thing is a lot of times, especially when women lash out at that like that, they're mad at themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they have not found a healthy way to communicate what it is they're feeling. So instead of saying, I'm pissed off with myself that I even got myself in this situation.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I get what Dante's saying. Like, I agree. I think that if you're not ready to have a kid, you should use birth control. But at the same, on the flip side of the coin, if you make the mistake, and having kids is not a mistake, I'm not saying that, but if you're at that point in your life where you're not quite ready
Mhm.
and you make the mistake, then you got to live with the decisions that you made, and you
Yeah.
got to now step up and take care of your business,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
no matter how you feel about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so, okay, you made the mistake, but don't be a shitty dad just because you made a mistake.
Correct.
Mhm. And that's why I tell people all the time, if you don't plan on being with this girl or this guy, just try not to have a child with them.
Please.
The worst thing you can do is have a child and you not plan on being with this other person.
Right.
'Cause,
So
don't do that.
And I really feel like when you with somebody and you've been with them for, not a long time, you
Mhm.
should not be like having unprotected sex anyways.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be on birth control. Plan B needs to be
Sitting in your cabinet.
sitting in your cabinet. You need to have, rubbers and all of that other kind of stuff,
Yeah.
because, sex is inevitable in a relationship. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
absolutely. It's gonna
Mhm.
happen.
So you're going to have sex, but if you within the first 6 months, you
Yeah.
should not be having unprotected sex.
Yeah.
Especially y'all ain't never had no test.
You
together, none of that.
have a baby with somebody you just met. I'm
Yeah.
pregnant. You just like, come on, man. That's the
Come-
worst thing you can do to that
Yeah.
baby.
Think about your decisions, because and like I said, it's your past. You got to live, learn, and move on. And then, you don't want to move on with a child because that person stuck with you for the next 18, 20, 30, 40
Mhm.
years. Come on now.
Yeah, and Breezy says, as someone who grew up in the hood, rough areas, I can say there is definitely levels to the kind of mistakes you can make. Difference is families wasn't ghetto or hood. It's just where we grew up. And a lot of that, regardless of how much they tried to shield us, that world still affected me big time.
Your environment always affects you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Your environment, where you live, and your environment affects you 100%. Because like I said, my child is into anime and video games, and and she's not into Xbox or PlayStation. She's into anime type video and cosplay. And I don't. Sometimes I don't think if I would have grew up in Miami or or another place, she might not be into that kind of stuff, because it might not be. She might not be open to some of that stuff.
Yeah, little hood
Depends
girl.
on where it was.
Or it could be hood.
Yeah, it all depends. It all depends, because she's not, you got these little girls that be on TikTok and they 12, 11, they doing dances and they don't, my child don't even know how to dance.
Well, and not only that, but she doesn't even listen to
music.
Mhm.
like pop culture. Like it surprised us that she even knew like any type of artist. And she was like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
I just don't listen to them.
Jordan listens to her. I don't listen to that though. I'm not interested in that. And so that's one thing that I'm glad as parents we're raising her to be very independent, like independent thinking.
Yeah.
And that comes down to her having options. We give her plenty of options so that she can be a free thinker and not like kind of let people decide for her. And I know, like, I talk to my mom and dad all the time about this, and my mom is a little more old school, so she's kind of like, I feel like you give her way too many choices. And I'm like, I feel like when I was young, you didn't give me enough choices. So because you didn't give me enough choices, I decided to make decisions because I
Yeah.
didn't have
And that's what every parent nowadays does. They say that is like what my parents didn't give me this, so I'm giving my child this, or my
Mhm.
parents didn't do this for me, so I'm make sure I don't treat my. A lot of people rebel against what their parents did, and a lot of people simulate say, "Well, my parents were great, so I'm gonna do exactly what they did."
but this
So
is
it
the
depends.
thing.
Is everybody? There's something in there that they didn't like their parents doing, so they changed it up.
But this is the thing. I feel like there's some things that my parents do have that I wish that I was a little bit more firm on, because I feel that there's some things that she still need to learn that I have not taught her yet because of the way that I have chose to parent her.
No,
And that goes all with our topic: living the past, live, learn, and move on. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna live it, or you gonna live in the past. You gonna learn from it, or you gonna move on from it.
Yeah.
So that's what we got going on. So we've had a great conversation tonight, people, and y'all were into this. I see y'all was commenting.
And I want to just touch on LaShawn's comment
last
right
one,
quick.
okay.
People don't think of it in this way, but a child is more permanent than marriage sometimes. Some folks scared to get married, but we'll pop out a baby.
In a minute. Like,
Quick.
What is wrong with you? I hear people say all the time, I don't want to get married, but I want to have
get
kids.
married, but I need some kids. I was like, well, they want their legacy. People like marriage, the marriage.
Well,
I
wanna
mean,
share
I never really thought about kids as being legacy. I guess that is what it is, but I never thought about it in that manner.
Yeah.
I just firm believer, like, if you're gonna have a child, allow them to have a 2-parent household.
Allow them to.
Don't deprive them of that.
But they don't
Most
need nobody else but me. They don't need nobody but me.
It's just a different dynamic. You can just tell a lot about a person the way they, as an adult, like how, you know.
You got these. You got the new millennial, the new people. They say, "Oh well, I can go to the sperm." Ladies say, "I go to sperm bank, have me a kid," or the guy that's saying, "I'm adopted." All they need is as long as they have love, they don't need nothing else.
Okay, man, they need both parents. I believe.
I definitely feel that our daughter gets something different from each one of us. You know what I'm saying?
Two completely different races, two completely different environments. We're just completely different. I'm Caribbean, you're American. I'm single family, a single parent home, you're a 2-parent home. It's two different, but we both suburbs, but it's still completely different. Parents always being there, parents trying to be there. You got what you get, you get what you got. But our time has ran over. We are in this conversation. So I picked a good one tonight. I think we all had got something out of this. So we're not gonna repeat this, but we had a good conversation. So hopefully if you got something out of this, I'm glad you did. If you did not, oh well, where have you been? You need to come back and hang out with the 3 Clarks, because we over here dropping knowledge. We spitting facts. Spitting, as Dion said, spitting hot fire. Spit hot fire.
Oh my God.
For y'all making the band, y'all remember Dylan, Spit Hot Fire, or Dave Chappelle. But once again, I want to thank y'all for joining us for every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank my co-host for always
thank us.
Thank my co-host for always showing up and being in tune with the conversation, whether you feel good or you don't feel good. So we are here every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. We are the 3 Clarks, and I am Dwayne.
I'm Shantae.
I'm Jefferson.
And we are the 3 Clarks. We'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Peace.